Hey YouTube, it's me again, it's Terrence Barker, and in this video we're going to be talking about how you should not let the media control the overall view or be the dominant view in your family household. Alright fam, let's go.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
Alright guys, in this video, there's going to be a little bit of explicit language in here. So what I'm going to do is request that for any of you guys who are against certain explicit language or any of that use, just to pause this video and then let your family members walk out the room who you believe who should not hear this. But I do have to use some of that explicit language, even though that I don't believe in using that on the channel because this is pretty much a family channel. But there is going to be some explicit language in this video because I have to show what the media's perspective is and the reality perspective is. And in this video, I'm going to be using an individual that I actually do like a lot. He's no longer living, and that individual is basically Tupac. I'm using this guy as basically like a foundation on what to build my video around. Why? Because in some cases he was misrepresented. In other cases he did bring it up on himself. And then another side of the story, you will see that he had a very clear and very great message, and most people didn't really know what he was talking about when he was conveying this message, which is why he was misrepresented. So when it came down to Tupac, he used to be seen predominantly in the media as a outrageous, thuggish, gang member type individual.
Say thug life, I mean that shit, because these white folks see us as thugs. I don't care what y'all think. I don't care if you think you a lawyer, if you a man, if you an African American, if you whatever the fuck you think you are. We thugs and niggas to these motherfuckers. And until we own some shit, I'ma call it like it is. How you gonna be a man and we starving? Go ahead. And you can walk by 5 different houses, ain't a man in either one of them motherfuckers. How we gonna be a man?
Why? Because prior to Tupac coming to the West Coast, he was shot a couple times. He had a couple run-ins with police officers, had like a little criminal record going on. And then also when he got to the West Coast, you would see this East Coast West Coast beef that was going on, and he just looks like some crazed wild kid. And that's kind of like or a young man, which is kind of like the media's main perspective on things. However, if you really did follow him prior to him coming to the West Coast, you actually kind of see a different side. He had a group of friends that were rapping with him, and their name for that group was called Thug Life, which is basically the hate you give little infants F's over everyone.
The hate you gave little infant PCK everybody. Meaning, what you feed us as seeds grows and blows up in your face.
A lot of people didn't know that message. When they heard Thug Life, they thought it was something that was mainly like a gang member or a thuggish or street type of thing. But it was actually a good message because it was talking about, hey, don't be feeding hate to these kids. Kind of like what's kind of going on today. It is very divisive right now out in this country, in America. That's my home where I'm at. So you will see why I'm kind of bringing this to light, because there is so much division, and kind of like in the time of Tupac, you had one side versus another side. And it really didn't make any sense because at the end of the day, it was all about the community. And his message was about that. But if you didn't know that Thug Life was actually an acronym, you probably would have seen a different side or took it as a different view at that time. Now, as you get older and you start growing up a little bit, you start realizing that most people are not about being the richest, biggest, and over the top, person out there,
Most people just want the simple life. Most people don't want the lavish, Bugatti and big cars and all that other stuff. Most people just want to chill at the park, go on vacation with the family every now and again, and maybe go out to some of their favorite restaurants. Most people want to just go out and experience life and not have to worry about big bills. But it always don't play out that way, Life kind of hits us, and the media kind of says that everybody is greedy and everybody wants it big. But that's not how it really is.
Most people are really about just taking care of their family, having a basic 9 to 5. Now, although, we do want to be, I guess you would say, rich, but when you really do speak to people, what they talk about is being wealthy, which is totally different than being rich. Now, in America, we kind of get those terms confused a little bit because we'll see a person who is wealthy and just say they're rich. But you could be wealthy without being rich, and you could be rich without being wealthy. Now, let's really try to break down some things so you can kind of see what I mean. But when it comes to being rich, it's all about a dollar amount, basically, bottom line. But when it comes to being wealthy, it comes from like a word of about well-being or a phrase of well-being. So with wealthy, it's all about having a good health, having a good stability with your family. It's all about not having any worries about your child's school, education, things like that. Their overall well-being is taken care of. They don't have to worry about finance. And by you hearing that, you can see how that might lead people to somewhat of a misunderstanding, because finance does handle a lot of the things that we need today. Let's be real. Money is a tool, and it could get some things done. It could take care of a lot of problems. You know what I'm saying? But if you really talk with people, you'll see that they are more concerned about their overall well-being. And they want to live a life where they don't really have to worry about nothing. But the media portrays an idea of pretty much being rich. So what I'm trying to say is, like Tupac, the media might be saying one thing and having a message conveyed in one way. But when you really get down to it and you get context to the message, then you will see that it means a totally different thing, what's being presented. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that the media is all bad and, there's one news here, one news here. I'm not saying those type of things. I'm not trying to be polarizing. What I'm saying is you got to be a critical thinker these days. You got to realize that when it comes to the media, they do make mistakes, although most of the time they do get it right. But we're all human. It's ran by humans. We do make mistakes, and then also at the same time, we say things according to our view, and that's only giving one side of the perception. It's not giving the full, complete story of what's going on. So with that said, I hope that you can take this message, you can learn something from it. I hope that you can monitor what's coming in and give context because that's what it's really about. It's giving context. It's not totally sheltering your family from it, because they're going to see it in the street. You know, they're going to see it one day, but it's preparing them for it and also giving context to the message that is coming out. Because I had a lot of friends when I was growing up who looked at Tupac and they thought it was about some game stuff, you know, when he was saying thug life, even though he did every now and again, you know, to be real, go out there and do some thuggish things. But his message was not about that. Thug life was not about that. It was about stopping the hate and uplifting the black community. However, well, my friends from the neighborhood that I came from, they were taking the media's perception of that, and then later on, they went out there and started doing a bunch of crazy stuff, got locked up. Meanwhile, for those who really understood that message, realized what Tupac was trying to bring, and which made him one of the most influential rappers there was of our time, or perhaps lifetime. All right, you guys, this is Terrence Parker on I Am My Family's Keeper. Peace. I'm coming out, baby.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.